use that opportunity to make a difference. This, my friends, is why I'm optimistic that the Lebanon of tomorrow and the Arab world of tomorrow will have a much brighter future than the Lebanon of today. Our goal can be nothing less than a civically engaged community that serves as an example for Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, and the entire Arab world. Then I think we can genuinely feel proud that we have a global impact, not resting on our history, not resting on the accomplishments of few individuals who unquestionably are outstanding, but on our effect as a society of learned scholars who reach out to empower those less fortunate, that they may in turn empower those even less fortunate. One of our plans, and we presented our strategic vision to the Board of Trustees, is to rebuild the campus in an environmentally, economically, and societally sustainable manner. Every day when I go back, and on the rare occasions I see my wife who lives in the US, she says, please don't ruin the AUB campus. We're not going to ruin the AUB campus. Everything we do will be environmentally sustainable. But one of the projects on the table is to build our own version of the Chicago Lab School, perhaps a preschool, and then an elementary school where we can also take in some of the best and brightest at a young age to produce tomorrow's leaders. Put them in with perhaps the children of our own faculty and staff, a small school that can inculcate tomorrow's leaders. I have to say that one of our most outstanding, if not our single most outstanding department at AUB is our Department of Education. Secondary education, particularly in the sciences, is an area where our faculty have been a pioneering and a transformative force. In stellar work done by Drs. Rima Khuri and Sauma Boujodi, known as Tamam, from the Arabic Al-Madrasa ila al-Mustanad al-Tatwir, they have worked to receive the longest running single source research and development grant that we're aware of at AUB. And what they've used this to do is to conduct action research in schools all over the Arab world. 10 years and a great deal of hard work later, they've now made durable connections with more than 40 schools across the Arab world, which have adopted and helped refine the Tamam journey. The Tamam journey, leading to the transformation of educational practices and governance structures, is the future of Arab education. The latest schools to join the Tamam family this semester are in Palestine and Sudan. This joins with schools in Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Oman, and Qatar. It's very effective because it's not just top-down imposition of education, but bottom-up, widely accepted, conciliatory and collaborative education in which teachers, principals, parents all work together to choose the areas of needed improvement, set their own goals, design their own specific interventions, and evaluate and document their own work. This is about empowering the whole group. Now, I see Rima looking down because Rima Karami doesn't like it when I praise her or Sauma. But actually, I think they have a lecture at AUB this evening talking about the latest cohort. Unusually in this part of the world, this is working very well. It's a combination of top-down support from the government, but really ground-up support from the community. I think this is, frankly speaking, as an Arab, by us, for us. It is not an imported educational or economic model. It is a natural, locally developed model, so it will fit far better. That's why the transformation so far has been so impactful and so durable. As it evolves, we believe it will change the region for the better, making the schools the center of their communities, providing leadership from youth, opportunities for all members, providing that most needed of qualities today in the Arab world, which is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Tamam has done an incredible job in this area, and we're looking to see this proliferate further. This is the type of thing that we should be proud of exporting from AUB and from Lebanon. Why? Because there is no doubt that education is the great equalizer in our societies. Education is what brings kids from different backgrounds together and allows them to foster the gate protector of peace and stability in society. That removal of the fear of the other, of seeing someone as somehow fundamentally different from oneself because they have a different religion or different skin color or different gender or different sexual orientation, we want to get past that. AUB has a long history as an island of tolerance, of commitment, of shared liberal values and secular values that protected not just AUB, but all of Ras Beirut and much of Beirut during the Civil War, because people knew that the other was not different. But this is a system that relies on the honor code. You can't force it. No amount of military ability can ram this down the throats of the people. It has to be accepted as a fundamental value of our society, something the Civil War eroded to some degrees, and the post-Civil War societies have unfortunately undermined. The real protector is quality education. We're not the only ones who believe in this. Just look at what happened in the United States in the last 8 years under President Barack Obama. The Obama administration, despite tremendous opposition from for-profit educational organizations, developed an online assessment of college quality that included the employability of graduates and the college's own assessments of their standards. The consequences of just putting this online, not the government's assessment, but raw data, including the own university's assessment of themselves, has resulted in the best universities thriving and, candidly, some of the for-profit organizations closing. Why is that? Because if you prevent people from seeing the truth, they will eventually seek it. But if the government can supply the real data about educational quality to the people, then they will make informed choices. Lebanon actually probably has 7 or 8 really pretty good universities. But that's why my fellow university presidents and I, and in particular the president of USG and I, are urging the government to stop legislating new universities that are below standard and stop wasting the flower of Lebanese youth and taking away opportunities for them for cheap diplomas that are barely worth the paper they are printed on. Let's evaluate everything. Let's look at the data. Let's see where the quality is and support the quality. To that end, the president of USG and I have started a number of collaborations. Some of them are bearing fruits. Others will soon bear fruit. One of the things we're looking at is student exchange, joint programs. We're also looking at talking with the government about the need to protect the not-for-profit institutions from taxes every time the government has a shortfall. We're looking at opportunities to train our residents in medicine abroad in Canada and the United States by partnering with the Lebanese government. One day in the not-too-distant future, we would like the best universities of Lebanon to be members of a partnership, a Cedar League, in a way that the U.S. has its Ivy League, between the best institutions where we compete fairly, freely, but faithfully to raise all of our own standards. Our hope is that the great universities in Lebanon will empower the next generation, that we will be taken advantage of in the best sense, not just our educational excellence, but our missions of service. If we transform people who are less fortunate to more able, they in turn need to transform others to be more able and more fortunate. I believe that this will truly then signal the end to the spirit of sectarianism and divisiveness that has persisted since the end of the Civil War. I think that is in the best interests of future generations of Lebanese leaders. The students of Lebanon need a great, real public university. The Lebanese university kept its quality throughout the Civil War, but has lately been buffeted by special interests. I think if we grow the next generation of leaders, many of them will contribute to Lebanon's only great public university. So we, at our university, stretch out our hand to all others. We have, with the Rafik Hariri Foundation, stretched our hand by putting one of our very best administrators as its acting president for the last few years, and we will always keep our doors open to our sister universities because we perceive our responsibility to be beyond just educating students. Our goal is to educate and transform the leaders of tomorrow. It is not a coincidence that we have graduated more leaders in Lebanon and the Arab world than any other university in the Arab world. We deliberately train leaders. We train people who want to go out and make a difference. That's what we're about. I think the children of Lebanon and the Arab world deserve no less, and I want to thank the Hariri Foundation for this generous invitation, but even more for its commitment to make a difference for our youth of tomorrow. Thank you very much.